Okay, so Alicia is going to give herself a colonic. Do you have any kind of a testimonial you'd want to say, like since you've been doing them, why you're doing colonics?
Why am I doing colonics? Well, because I just feel a lot cleaner and lighter after I get them done. I feel like it improves the way I look and the way I feel. I feel like there's a lot inside of me that doesn't come out, and that the colonic helps flush.
Yeah. How many colonics do you think you've done?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I guess I've had my very first one in 2010 when I came here in the fall.
Oh yeah.
And then I would always get them when I would come visit. I mean, I probably had them a couple of times every time I would come visit. So that was like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a bunch in the summer that I lived here, which was last summer.
You've probably done 25.
Think so?
Yeah. And then, so can you give yourself a colonic? Do you know how to do it?
I'm pretty sure I could figure it out.
I haven't taught you?
I've never had to do it by myself. I always make Art do it.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is great because this will be your first time then giving yourself a colonic, and it'll be so easy.
Yes.
So what we have here is the standard gravity system colonic. It's not a machine because it just works by gravity. The water and the weight of the gravity, there's a hole in the top, cut in the top of this tank, and the thermometer will tell you what the temperature is, so that's close to 100 degrees. And then this is the water mixer that just taps right in to the sink. So there's where the feeds went in, and when you turn on the mixer, then it draws water just from the standard plumbing and pulls it through these filters. Okay, and this is where I hang the tubes so they're able to drip into the sink, and there is a dirty colonic scope, speculum. Okay, and you want to have some paper towels handy, and then you're going to need some lubrication, and I use this type of thing because it's good for rashes, itches, and skin irritations, and a lot of people, especially when they're cleansing, will have skin irritations. I use this also. It has castor oil in it, and it's a very good product. You can see coconut oil, castor oil, vitamin E. And then, of course, you can get some gloves, which you can buy anywhere. But when you're working on yourself, you won't need to do that. Now this is the tubing, and this is just something you can buy at a plumbing supply house. It's a latex tubing, and you will have a sample of it, and then you have this acrylic, which you can find a supplier for that as well, or you can buy them online. So what you need to do is just set it up so that this water is able to flow into your body on a regulated, so this water can flow into your body as you control it, and this just has a clamp. And then what we do is we add a length of tubing, and the reason for that is that it's more sanitary to cleanse this each time and then trade that out and then clean the larger hose on a daily basis. And this is the waste tube, and we're just connecting it to this other tube here, and the clear section is just the see-through. So the waste goes right into the plumbing, and that's like a J-trap that prevents any gases from coming back up, and so you have a continuous flow from the tank through this tube to the speculum, and then connected to the body and the colon, and then the waste flows out simultaneously. So I'm going to demonstrate. So Alicia is going to demonstrate. This is the first time that she's given herself a colonic, and she's received about 25 colonics in the last year, and we are going to teach her live on this recording. Okay, so Alicia is ready to give herself a colonic. So what we need to do is get her hooked up. And that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so this is an autoclave. They're fairly expensive, brand new. They're approximately $3,000 for the base model. You can look for them used, or you can find them used on the internet, eBay, Craigslist, whatnot. And maybe you can find these speculums also used, but you can buy them new. They're very easy to sterilize. If you're only working on yourself, you can use some kind of a pressure cooker or just boil them between uses. So what this is comprised of is a very simple design. The plunger just goes right through, and that prevents you from cutting yourself as you need the plunger because that provides the ease of insertion. What I do is I run some hot water and I warm the end of the speculum so that it doesn't feel cold as it's inserted. And then because this is sterile, I can just put that right on the end of the speculum. And then I really don't use my fingers on it because your hands really aren't so clean. But then again, neither is your butt. So, but you just, in 12 years I've not had any type of illness contracted by, using a speculum and by using this. Now, if for some reason the scope were to pull out and you need to reinsert it without having sterilized it, that's what this is good for, because then you can just, and then you can just dribble that on there, drizzle that on, and so it's falling on the towel, which is fine because I can just scoop it off of there. And then if you are using a glove on your hand, you can sort of wipe it around on the end of the nozzle. I put a paper towel there. Now this would be considered a clean section. When you pull the plunger out, you just want to be real careful when you set it on there. And I can do that. I'm very proficient at setting the end of the speculum there without it touching a single other thing. And then the paper towel comes in real handy because you can wipe off the excess grease that gets on it. Then you just attach the inflow hose to the speculum, and the simple part will be that you're going to insert the end of that up to this little guard, and you can do it very slowly. You sort of, the angle of the inside of their rectum is different, so you just want to very, very slowly insert that into your rectum, and you want to make sure that this tubing is kind of out of the way. And so that's what you're going to do. Is it in?
Not yet.
Okay, so it takes a little bit of time. You want to take your time,
I
really.
like to take
It's
lot of
not.
time.
It's not a very comfortable thing. It's not completely comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable. But it's just a necessary part of the process.
It's more comfortable for me to take time. I like to go slow.
We're just going to fill the tank while she's doing that. And really it's taking her quite quite a bit of time, so.
It's done.
Oh, it's done. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to get the plunger out in a way that is not, you feel somewhat dyslexic removing the plunger. And you also want to pull it out slowly because it sort of can create a vacuum. And then also you want to pull it out, the plunger itself. Like right now we're talking and it's just sitting in there, but she could have fecal matter that's actually filling up into the speculum. And so you kind of want to make this part of the process happen fairly quickly. And then you want to know where the end of the rubber hose is so that you can detach. So okay, so in this case, since she's working on herself, I've set a stool there so that she can pull out. Now you can remove that plunger. Just slowly pull the plunger out. And then when it sort of breaks free and it'll stay in there. And then yeah. Okay. And then you're just going to set that down. You can see it rests pretty easily. And then you've got to hook these two together. Now that can be the tricky part, but also you don't want to pull the hose out of this end, and so she's right at about the maximum level. So she's going to have to wiggle down so that she can get more of that tube down into the plumbing system. Okay, so did you get that on? No. And this is, oh, okay, she did get it on. Okay, and that's part of the tricky part. And then you want to just get this positioned so that everything's set, and then I'm going to poke that down in there a little bit more. But normally, once you're good at that, you know that you want to keep this kind of on the edge of the table. Now what you have to be able to do is to access this control. So you're going to have to lean forward and grab that.
Oh my God.
So that's not so hard. And okay, then just put that somewhere where it's not gonna, that's fine where it is, but you don't want it to fall on the floor because you'll need that at the end. Otherwise you don't really need it. And then there's air in the line because you don't have there's no water that's filling the body at this time. And so the flow is just coming right here because the water follows the path of least resistance. And where that least resistance is just right around like this. So you have to block the outflow in order to put an inflow into the body. But that's great because you have full control. And now do you feel comfortable just like this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so she's blocked it off, and we want to make sure that we get the air out. And you want to have a clock that has a second hand on it. And then you can time yourself. So it's 5 seconds of water. And sometimes you can just do a couple of seconds if you're just trying to get the air out of the line, because you don't want to put a bunch of air in. Now the air will come out, and so you see how she's just squeezing it with her thumb, and then this is not filling up with water, but once she gets up to about the 10 seconds of counts, then this should fill completely up with water. It's already starting to do it. And then you have to get a pretty good grip and completely block the flow of water off. And that's really critical. So the other thing that you can do, once you get good at swimming around on the table, you can prop that up, and that helps the air to come out of the line. So far you've had nothing come out, and you're giving yourself, what, 5 seconds?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. And you feel the water filling you, and it's about body temperature or warmer. Up to 100 degrees. And so, you know, there's nothing that's coming out. Now in this case, because this was set up and designed as a professional unit, that the therapist sits here and works the water, a lot of units, and I've shown one of them, two of them actually, where the control unit's right here, so she could control the water, because as the water, did something come out? Okay, so, right off, and you just did use the bathroom, right? You just pooped?
Yeah, but nothing, I didn't poop. I didn't think I had to.
Oh.
I thought I did, but
Oh.
then I didn't.
Okay,
That was 15 seconds.
Oh, you did 15? Okay. So you're going to do a second
Another
15.
15 now.
You're feeling that?
Yeah.
Okay, and you want to feel it because that means you're completely blocking this off. And you know, it's soft rubber. It's not that difficult to block off. And what I find, okay, so there comes some stuff. So she felt like she had to use the bathroom, and now whatever was in there that her body normally, Alicia's 24 years old, and then it's interesting to note that she's not fully releasing just with a normal bowel movement. So this is really helping her, and you see we have the pillows so that she's comfortable. We have a fresh, clean laundered towel, and so it's extremely sanitary. You don't have to use like some kind of sterile pads, because if you're looking at some kind of a viral or a bacterial contamination, bacteria is everywhere, and so you have to just kind of allow for the fact that this isn't being conducted in a sterile environment, but you do want it to be a clean environment. So now you're going up to 20.
Another 20 seconds.
This is your second 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so this is running low, and I'll just turn this on. And then you kind of get...
Do I lie on my back? Oh, I feel like I'm gonna have a big release.
Oh, okay. So she's feeling a little bit of pressure, and then what's coming out of her right now is just water. Lots of water that she had just put in. And it's getting darker, so that typically means that there's something solid about to come out. One thing that you do after you're on your side, then you're going to turn onto your back, and you have to hold the scope, the speculum, into place, and be very careful about that. And then notice, yeah, so you get to be good at using your feet. And a lot of times when you turn, you'll have additional fecal matter will come out. In this case, not. And then, so she's just getting herself comfortable. This is literally the first time that she's ever done this. And you can see, having had colonics, she understands the basic concept of it. Now she's got some air that's happening right here. And so you want to, yeah, if you can get the air to go down into the system, that's better. And then she's just laying, and, you know, she's a little bit twisty on it, but